Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Vancouver Adjacent by Night, which is our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Let me just grab that for you. That's one of these. It is not the Vampire the Masquerade 2nd edition, which is over there somewhere on a shelf that I really don't feel like getting right now. This is the C team, I want to say, because everybody kind of has a C in their name, which is really confusing.
We're the A team in our hearts.
Yeah.
Aww.
And the C team in practice.
And we joke around a lot as well. Just thought I'd get that out of the way. Just so everybody knows, this is a mature game. It's rated M for mature. I myself am not mature. I giggle like a 13-year-old when somebody says penis. But, there's going to be a lot of not great language that's going to come around. And we will introduce everybody to our vampires on the Level Up Dice, starting with Brennan Williams.
Starting with me. Hi, I'm Brennan. I will be playing Charlotte Ardennes, the Ventru capitalist.
Who has a new job.
Yeah. We're moving on up.
And next, we'll slide it right on over to Zach.
Hey there, I'm Zachary Vaudo. I'll be playing the Malkavian Charlie Lawrence, the extremely worried statistician of this group.
Who also has a new job. Next up is Samantha.
Hi, I'm Samantha Mclarty, and I will be playing Elena Cortez, the La Sombra, who is apparently now chief of security? Sure,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Social engineering.
Everybody's got new jobs. That's all I'm saying. I just, it's almost like I planned it that way. And Patrick, down to you.
Hello, I'm Patrick Gill, and I will be playing Harley, the Nosferatu, who is Chief Technical Officer and currently playing a Great Value Jason Bourne.
When last we saw him, he was clinging tenaciously to the top of a van heading towards North Van. But we'll get into that in just a sec. Next up is Lex.
Hi, I'm Lex. I'll be playing Cassandra, your Toreador, who's still not sure why she's here, but is on for the ride.
I know why she's here. Also, we have a quick announcement. Level Up Dice is going to be going under a rebrand on the Twitch, which will no longer be Level Up Dice, twitch.whatever Level Up Dice. It will be twitch.tv/Level Up TTV. That starts on Monday the 16th. So if anybody has any subscriptions, etc., it'll all carry over. It's fine. They're just changing up the URL a little bit. And so you don't end up in the Level Up Dice Twitch thing wondering where the fuck everybody is next week. You can find us there. So I think, is it possible that we could throw that up in the old chat? Because I don't know. Okay, cool. And I'm Steve the Storyteller. I run not only this game, but the other Vancouver by Night, which happens tomorrow at the exact same time. So you get not one, but two Vancouver by Nights per week right now, which is awesome. And we are pretty much ready to begin. So when last we saw our intrepid C team, but it's the A team because it's Alexander Industries that they took over. So
that's a good reason.
Yeah.
Checks out.
It's like the X-Men, Professor Xavier, only it's Alexander Industries.
Yeah.
Charlotte was put in charge of that, newly being named the Venture Whip by Victor Davenport, who went back down to his casino and leaving Charlotte up here in the Gastownish / business area to keep an eye on the bigger business of Alexander Industries for him, not wanting that to fall prey to any corporate espionage or having it slide out of the hands of the Ventrue clan itself, Charlotte organized the team of coterie that is that you see before you, giving them all various business opportunities, and then they were attacked. Speaking of corporate espionage, by people jumping in the window with tactical gear trying to kill them. After dispatching that, they wanted to find out where exactly these particular tactical geared people were going, and that somehow resulted in Harley ending up on the top of a van, hurtling towards North Van. So, shit happens.
Someone's got to do it.
And then by the end of the episode, the rest of the coterie ended up back at Alexander Industries and ushered into a meeting by their secretary with some rather interesting characters. And that is where we will start off this particular episode. So everybody is still at the same hunger they were at before. And you walk into boardroom 2 and you see a gentleman sitting down behind one of the, the furthest seat that he could possibly get from the door. And he has black hair. He's kind of very, almost supernaturally thin. And he's wearing a absolutely immaculate, very, very expensive business suit. Beside him stands a woman with short blonde hair who is holding a clipboard. Looks like she's going over notes. And on the other side, on the left side of him, is a 9-foot tall, misshapen, angry looking, green goo slobbering, just massive, furry anger machine.
I was hoping you'd stop at furry.
No.
I immediately just command Florence, like, sit, stay.
Florence, who is your bond familius, he does exactly what you say. Sits, stays, doesn't go anywhere.
And that's about all I do, because I'm just, like, staring at this giant fucking wolf in the boardroom.
Yeah, Charlotte walks in and then she kind of, oops, looks like we found the wrong meeting hall. Everybody, we can go.
Start backing out.
Your secretary comes running up. She's like, no, this is the right one. This is the right one. Yeah, it's fine.
Does it have to be the right one? Or...
Are you sure?
This is the
I'm with them. Does it have to be the right one?
This is the 2:00 Pentex meeting, isn't it?
I don't know. Is it? And I'll just look at the other, like the human people. Is it? Is this what we're doing now? Or
and the gentleman in the expensive suit is looking at you like, is there a problem?
No problem at all. Everybody, let's have a seat.
okay, yeah. And I'll pat Florence on the head and walk away from the wolf. Just sit maybe middle of the table. Not like give other people the option to be further away from the wolf, but
the entire time Florence is Florence is very much listening to your commands and doing exactly what you say, but at the same time you definitely get a sense of unease from Florence, like looking at the werewolf and then looking at you,
same,
then looking at the werewolf and
it's
then
mutual.
looking at you.
It's mutual.
Awesome.
So the rest of you basically see Charlie looking at his dog, and then they both look at the werewolf, and then looking at each other, and then looking at the werewolf.
And then just walk towards the seat.
I will follow suit.
I'm going to kill Charlie.
So I was expecting what was his name again? And he looks up at the blonde lady, and she doesn't look away from her notes. She just like utters as if she's annoyed, like, Alexander Devonshire. Yes, Mr. Devonshire. I was expecting Mr. Devonshire. Are you?
Yes, he's actually been displaced. I am his replacement.
Corporate espionage being what it is. That's understandable. We are here to discuss the funding of our program.
Of course, that program being, sorry, I literally just got here this morning.
Right. It's Operation Corn.
We like corn, right?
I mean, I did when I was alive.
I like the
Does
concept
that
of corn.
count?
Starchy.
So since you are now in charge, and I'm assuming you're all of the, let's just say, not food eating variety.
It's been a minute.
Right. So I know the whole vampire thing is probably new to a bunch of you. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Not really.
No, not very new.
New is relative.
Right. Anyway, we have been working with Alexander Industries on oh man, it's how long has it been? And he looks up, and she is definitely kind of palpably annoyed at this point. Like, 2 years. Right, 2 years. Thank you, Miriam. And we are trying to make the mortals more, let's just say, more compliant is the best term I could probably come up with for you.
Okay, and how do you intend to do that?
Genetic engineering.
Oh, you're one of those. I see. How are you going to skirt around the ethical issues of that?
You're new here. There are no ethical issues around that. Not for us, anyway.
So how do you intend to genetically engineer these foodstuffs?
Science.
Oh, do we have any science people here? No. The closest thing we have is on a car.
Essentially, what we're going to be doing, we came here to discuss how far along it's come with you and to secure our next bit of funding, because we are about to go live on, where was it again, Miriam? Spuzum. Right, Spuzum. There's a community named Spuzum that we're about to go live on the genetic engineering. We're going to feed their local food sources and make sure that they're a lot more compliant than they used to be.
Well, as soon as he starts talking about funding, then Charlotte feels much better because this is much more her wheelhouse. So she kind of like sits back and cracks her knuckles and is like, okay, let's talk.
We're going to need approximately $300 million.
$300 million. That is a lot of money. What do we expect to see on an investment return on this?
Well, I've heard that some of you actually have powers in which you actually you need the mortals to be a little bit more compliant. This actually bends their will before you even get a chance to get a hold of them.
That would be convenient. And innovations in food technologies always do bring in a hefty sum of money.
Exactly.
And what was the previous arrangement with my predecessor?
your predecessor has already funded a good chunk of it. What we need to do is go into phase 3, which will be the live results.
Oh, so you'll actually have something to show us then. I see.
So far, and he motions to Miriam to show you, and she actually hits a button, and she picked up one of the remotes that you've seen along a bunch of the boardrooms, and the screen comes down on the one side of the boardroom, and it shows a bunch of graphs and charts, something that Charlie probably is very interested in, showing like different genetic testing and different, as you can see, our tests so far have been very, very successful.
Those do look good. Charlie, do those look good?
Hey, storyteller, based on my knowledge of statistics, how shit does their sample size look?
Their sample size is fucking horrible.
Okay, cool. Let me do a quick willpower roll.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. It's a very good start. These numbers look very good the way that they are presented on this board. Obviously, the more statistics that we have, the better. Gives a much better sense of success rates, random sampling, things like that. But this looks like a very good start to your testing and your number recording.
That's why we're going to phase 3.
Yes. Do you think maybe a phase 2.5 might be a bit too much?
We do not.
Okay. I like making sure all the data is collated and tested out properly, obviously.
That's totally understandable. It's very understandable.
That is actually a good point. We are going through some growing pains here, and while we're very impressed with the numbers you've presented, I wouldn't mind if our numbers guys got a little bit of a better feel for the statistics.
Understandable.
Although I see no reason why, after further proving the numbers, we can go forward working together with that 300 million.
Understandable. Miriam, can you make sure that they get all the numbers that they require? And she's still looking down at the sheet like, yes, sir. Excellent. And he stands up. It will be a pleasure doing business with you. Are the email addresses all still the same?
I don't see why they would have changed.
All right. I will make sure that Miriam sends all the information required to the appropriate email addresses. And he walks over, trailed by the other two. And for Charlie, did you sit on the side of the table that's closest to the door, or were you making sure that if they had to leave that they would be not near you?
I sat on the side of the table that put me as far away from the big bad wolf as I could possibly get.
Understandable.
If that means they have to walk past me, then so be it, but that's where I went.
They would not probably
Okay.
in this case. Yeah, you probably would have sat yourself on the section that if they had to leave first, which you're probably assuming that they would have, that they wouldn't actually like brush up against you or anything or accidentally slobber drink you on you. And he extends his hand to Charlotte.
And she shakes his hand.
All right. We will be in contact. We are hoping to go to phase 3 in a little less than a month.
I look forward to your progress. And if I might add a suggestion, I don't know anything about food production, but maybe consider a pre-caffeinated human. I would buy it.
That is an interesting suggestion. Miriam, make a note. Miriam scribbles it down. All right, we will see ourselves out from here. I believe your secretary will be able to make sure that our friend here, He's a little touchy. His name is James. He, doesn't quite go out of that particular form as much as he should.
Yeah, we also have a dog.
Mine's bigger.
Well, it's not a dog measuring contest.
Touche. And at that point, they leave. And through the boardroom door is about 8 feet. And James, the giant Kree-nosed formed werewolf, kind of turns, and you can tell it's kind of accidental, but he basically face plants, but he face plants through the door frame. Like the door frame kind of explodes out.
Well,
You-
we
you
already
hear-
had repairmen coming, so.
You hear the other gentleman go, James, I told you to duck. And they finish walking out to the elevator, which makes kind of an audible groan when James gets onto it. Like it just kind of.
I feel like that puppy needs to go to the vet.
Elevators are not max weight rated for Kree-nosed formed werewolves.
Well, that went well.
It did.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that. It's bad enough that they're fudging all of their numbers on their graphs, but that was a lot. That was a lot.
I would agree with Charlie that perhaps a bit of a warning would have been appropriate.
I don't think that they were expecting us anyway, so maybe that's how the previous owner dealt with them, with show and tell of a giant wolf. But they weren't expecting us, and we weren't expecting them, and that made the probability of things going off the rails very, very high. But
That's a good
didn't.
point. They might be equally afraid of us talking on that elevator right now.
No, I meant just not expecting us. That thing could have eaten all of us and then still been hungry.
I hope you do not mind me saying this, but I'm pretty sure they're not very much afraid of us, actually.
Not at all.
That is
No
a big
offense to
assumption.
you.
Could be. We could be very scary. They don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. Very scary. You're terrifying, really. Promise.
Yeah. And
If I could pee, I would have.
For Charlie, can I get let's go with a wits and investigation roll?
Yeah, I can do that.
I rest my case.
That is 4 successes.
4 successes?
Yeah.
As you kind of glance back at the numbers, which were still up on the screen, they didn't actually take them down.
Mm.
These numbers are not right at all. Like the closer you look at them, the more problems you're seeing.
Like, does it look like more than just a poor sample size? Does it look like the numbers are just like fucking made up at this point, or?
It looks like there's stuff that's happening with these particular numbers, like with how compliant the humans are becoming, that just don't actually make any sense. Like scientifically, as your scientific brain kind of clicks in, you basically are like, there's no way that if you feed somebody corn, that presents would work better. Like it doesn't make any sense.
And on top of the really, really, really muddy graph numbers, like I don't know a mathematical way to test our abilities against people that are under any kind of an influence, especially not like this, especially not with this kind of success rate. So I don't know if more testing from them would yield a better sample size for better results, or if they just picked a bunch of numbers off of a lottery and put them on a chart. But either way, this is bullshit.
So
Well,
what
then
you're
I'm-
saying is that they're just full of shit.
They're full of shit.
Well, I'm glad we didn't rush headlong in.
They're full of
I was
shit.
looking forward to the caffeinated people, though.
I mean, they have giant wolf. For all I know, they can do different things and have different testing, but as far as helping us, this doesn't make sense to me.
Does this kind of fall in line with the other bad business decisions that our previous owners have made?
Storyteller, based on what I was reading earlier.
Yeah, it kind of,
Yeah.
It's starting to sort of line up in Charlie's brain,
Mhm.
like as to what certain projects may have been.
Yeah, I think I found where the $1,000 screwdriver went.
Charlotte, if I may, if you're wanting a pre-caffeinated person, perhaps try the Starbucks.
Oh yeah,
Or
that's
any other coffee shop.
They
You
are
don't even
very
have to
easy
pay
to
for
find.
them.
Yeah. No, but I'd like them like delivered. That's what I'm thinking. I'm more like a prepackaged delivery system of caffeinated college graduates.
You can order people to deliver your coffee.
Yes.
Oh, and because they won't have good jobs in this market, they're probably working at Starbucks.
I figured they were just drinking energy drinks to stay awake.
Either or would work too. See? Problem solved. No need to spend, what was it, $3 million is what they're wanting?
And we don't need to be near the giant wolf. I like it. Great.
300 million. Yeah. No.
Oh, 300
gonna be-
million. Even better.
Who's going to be the one to tell them no thank you?
Not it.
No offense, but you're kind of really good with persuading people and charming and all that stuff. So maybe you should do it.
Absolutely, if they don't bring the giant wolf.
If they don't bring the giant wolf.
I think we can figure
Agreed.
that out.
I will be your security then, so long as they don't bring the giant wolf.
No giant wolf.
Actually, I look at this whole
No
thing as a big
stipulation.
opportunity because the old regime did such a bad job. We're going to look great in comparison.
Yeah, totally.
As long as we don't die by
And as-
the big giant wolf.
the
Again.
big giant
$100
wolf.
million.
And assuming that, the previous people weren't just a shell company for a bunch of money funneling that accounted for really shady numbers and low finances.
Surely they would have told me that.
No, surely. Yes, odds are very high. I'm lying.
Now that we've discovered that Charlotte has way more faith in the Venture Clan than the rest of us do, we're going to slide it slightly over to Patrick up in North Van.
Fuck. This was fuck. Hanging on to the roof of the van.
After it drives for a while, it starts to slow down and pull into kind of a strip mall location.
All right, I'm going to keep my position. If the van comes to a stop, I'm just going to hang here, and I'm going to observe as much as I can for the time being.
You notice the one particular person that was in the driver's seat. He gets out and he walks over to a, looks like it's a closed down Swiss chalet.
Okay.
And he goes inside, basically.
Leaving. No, wait. The guy who was riding shotgun got sent for a walk too, correct?
Yeah, he took a walk as well.
All right, I'm going to try to get off the top of the van without breaking obfuscate and get closer to the entry of
Let's
the
go
Swiss chalet.
For a Dex and Athletics.
Okay.
With newly acquired athletics.
Yes. 4 successes.
4 successes. Nice. Is it crit as well, or
Nope.
no? Okay. Yeah, you're able to kind of slide off the back of the van or the top of the van and make your way over towards the entrance of the Swiss chalet.
Okay. Well, opening the door is going to cause a problem here, so I'm just going to hang out and observe, try to listen as close as I can to what's going on.
Give me wits and awareness.
Okay. This dice pool not so good. All right. Failed.
Like
Just
hard failed or just regular failed?
Just regular failed.
Okay. It takes you a couple of seconds. You can't really hear anything. As you lean a bit closer, you notice that there's like a keypad on the door, which seems odd for a closed Swiss chalet to have electronic security system that's that advanced.
I'm going to step away from the door, check my phone, and
you see the text messages that came fast and furious as the last episode.
I text Charlotte back first with a thumbs up, and I text Charlie back with a thumbs up, and also some extra text there saying, "Never let me do that again." And I'm going to probably, I'm going to go around to the back of the van, take a picture of the plates, take a picture of the storefront with my phone, and I'm going to get the hell out of Dodge as quickly as possible. If I have to walk a couple of blocks and then get an Uber or whatever, that's going to probably be the best option.
Okay. So we will fast forward that particular section.
Mm-hmm.
And since they were driving pretty much at the beginning of the meeting, we're going to have Harley make it back to Alexander Industries at about the time that the meeting ended.
Okay. Do I run into the Pentex people in the lobby?
You do not.
Okay.
Because they're not going through the lobby.
Oh. All right.
Seems like kind of a bad place to have a giant slobbering Kranos.
Every place is.
All right.
That's fair.
When I get into the lobby, I text Charlie, "I'm back, on my way up. See you in 2." And get in the elevator. I did get issued one of those key cards, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Use that to get up to the penthouse or the boardroom, wherever. Yeah.
The 13th floor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll fast forward that a little bit and have Harley come out of the elevator.
He's alive. Good.
Elena is going to walk over to him immediately, and she's just going to be like, "Do you have any idea what you have gotten me into?"
No. And I'm looking at the door frame.
Yeah. Exactly. Do you see this? Do you know what that was?
No, I don't.
That was the nasty looking Garu little wolf thingies. What were they called again?
It was a wolf. It was a really big fucking werewolf.
Close enough. There you go. It was one of those things. That is what I have just spent my time in a room with. You said this would be easy. Not so easy now.
He came for the board meeting.
I didn't say it was going to be easy.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to him.
I'm just shifting the blame.
Hey, look, we'll talk about this at my place later. Okay.
And where were you?
Getting some intel, unfortunately.
Did it take a nighttime drive?
It's actually kind of interesting with the werewolf. I was actually just going to ask you if you'd ever seen the movie Teen Wolf.
Are they married?
I look at Charlotte and like,
I don't think so.
They feel
no,
married.
Of course not.
We go back a ways, but no.
I don't think so. You would have told me. You would have told me, right?
Yes.
You would have told me.
Yes. And
I would have told you too if it's any consolation.
I feel strangely better about that.
but all right. So, anyways, the van went to North Van to an abandoned Swiss chalet from the looks of it. This is something that we're probably going to have to look into later, obviously, but for it being abandoned, there was a security keypad on the front door. And
you went into the Matrix and hacked it.
No.
No, that's for later.
Yes. I know when to quit when I'm ahead, fortunately. And this we at least have a lead to work with in figuring out where exactly those goons came from or who's hiring them. I really don't think that Alexander is still alive, that it's impossible. I've heard stories, but seeing as who is involved, maybe whatever. Look.
Well, then who are they trying to kill me for?
Ma'am, I think you've been set up.
Yeah, I'm starting to think I've been set up too. Well, add it to the list of the pile of problems that we already have. We've got a company to get out of the dirt.
I would just like to point out one little bitty, teensy, tiny little thing.
Mm-hmm.
My price just went up a bit.
You'll have it. Don't even tell me how much.
Fantastic. Just give me access to your bank account and this will be all good. No worries.
Oh, I
don't
can't do
have to
that,
tell
but
you.
I'll give you a bunch of money.
Point of order. If you're being set up by running this company that we are all in now, which means now that we're all set up, even though we weren't supposed to be set up, why do you want to pull this company up by its bootstraps when this might be the company that set you up?
Because I'm not going to have a bad company to my name. I don't care if it's a setup.
Okay, so you're gonna solve the setup and also take the money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's why I'm here anyway.
Okay.
Don't worry, Charlie. It'll be all right.
No,
I protect you, remember?
No, you don't.
I look over to Cassandra. So, is it as bad as everyone else is saying?
Pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Okay, what did I
They
miss?
want $300 million based on fake data and a big werewolf.
The werewolf, I mean, some people get held up at gunpoint. Some people get held up at werewolf point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what was happening here. I don't think they were asking for that money.
It felt like a gun on the table.
His name was James.
Oh, yes, important. His name was James.
They have names.
He's a bit clumsy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And
they
does
brought
not-
James the clumsy werewolf.
I spooked him
does
so
not-
bad he hit his head on the ceiling.
Like a stormtrooper. Remember you told me about that.
Oh yeah, the Star Wars thing.
You printed out the picture thingy and you showed me it?
Yeah, that was a meme. Yeah.
I don't know.
So what do they want the 300 million for?
Corn.
Corn.
It's special corn? That's what they said. They said it was special corn.
They said that they would genetically modify the corn and it would make people compliant, and all the data was supposed to show that, except the data was, and I'll just point at it because it's on the board. Data is garbage, so I don't know what their corn is actually doing, or if that's why they need $300 million. But
but we didn't agree to it yet. So there's $300 million for you guys.
I
don't
can't.
think that's how saving companies works.
I don't think that's how
I don't
giant
think so
werewolves
either.
work.
And I don't think that Charlie's going to fight a giant werewolf for his cut of these $300 million.
No, I'm going to go to Quebec.
I can't in good conscience condone going forward with this at all.
I don't think that we should necessarily go forward with it, but I'm also not about to go fuck you to the big werewolf.
Maybe we just stall them for a really long time.
I like that.
They have to send all this data. You're going to have to go through it piece by piece. I mean, companies have this happen all the time.
Worst comes to worst, we all just go into hiding.
There is
Plan B.
also that. There's that. Yes, backup plans are
It's
good.
not that hard, I promise.
You are. It's kind of like when a turtle goes into its shell and says, "Guys, it's not that bright outside." It's not really comparable with the hiding and the shadow. And
how long do we have before they want the money?
Didn't give us a date, so I take that as forever.
they also agreed to further testing to round out their sample size. So there's that. I don't know if their sample size will ever be good. So long as they keep, just spinning the bingo machine to get numbers to put on the board. But that's time too.
Okay. All right. I'm still not a fan of them doing shit to people, but if it's gonna buy us a little bit of time to get a better grasp on the situation, then we do what we have to do. But just know that I'm gonna have to make this a priority.
That's fair. To be honest, at this point, I feel like they might just be running their scheme out of a warehouse downtown. But we've got time, and we can figure it out.
To the storyteller, have I heard of Pentex before?
That would be like a wits and awareness, I want to say.
That's 2 successes.
2 successes. You've heard of them, but you don't know of any of the shady, supernatural shenanigans that they're up to.
Okay. Well, Pentex, they're a relatively big company. They're not going to be operating out of a warehouse. They probably have an office building, an entire office building to themselves. They're the warehouse that you're mentioning. That's probably where they're doing this shit at.
Are you suggesting we do some corporate espionage?
Yes. On top of everything else.
Well, our plates are full.
No shit.
Will the espionage be away from the wolf?
Probably not.
If you're a good spy, then you won't get caught by the wolf.
This is true.
I'll handle the initial legwork for Pentex.
He'll handle the wolf. You heard that.
That's what I heard.
That makes sense.
I'm not. As soon as I see the fucking thing, I'm probably going to just take off, to be perfectly honest. But I'll do what I can.
That would keep it occupied.
True, but no, I will go about this a lot smarter than what I did with the hit squad. I promise you that.
I might actually have an idea that maybe might save us some time. Storyteller, is that secretary still like in this area, or she like walked completely out?
She has like kind of a desk that's near the elevator.
Okay. I'm just gonna like roll each chair out into the hallway and like just and because I've forgotten her name both in and out of character, I'm just gonna like just wave at her until she looks at me.
It was
S
Sandra.
names.
Sandra.
Hi. Do we have files on the people that were just here, like the previous dealings and things like that? Records.
The Pentex files, yes.
Yes.
You'll be able to find those in the computer system.
Okay, great. And I'll wheel each chair back into the boardroom and go, Harley, you can look up everything about the company that this company had in the computer.
Just so everybody knows, this office like building itself is massive, and this is an entire floor. So he had to wheel like a good 100 meters.
I had time.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Just slowly kicking his feet. Sandra.
Halfway through the way back, I realized that I should have gotten Florence to just pull me. But I just keep at it.
I would like
And
to point
since-
out that the entire time that we are sitting in this room and we are talking to Harley, once he starts volunteering himself for stuff, Elena just has a deadpan, just glaring at him like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
And we'll talk about this later.
You're
Okay.
And-
damn right. We are going to talk about this later.
2
Maybe
points of
they
note.
are married.
I maybe.
He's gonna be sleeping on the couch tonight.
2 points of note. Florence, since you told Florence to stay where they were, they stayed where they were, and they're just watching you roll
Mhm.
100 meters. As a storyteller, this is the first time I've ever had a coterie basically do the not it when, dealing with werewolves. So
It's an efficient system.
Yeah.
I won
You
that by
somewhat
default.
alive.
But you can, Harley, you can look up all the files on the company that this company had, and then maybe you don't have to go into the warehouse with the scary boss battle.
That will at least give me a nice head start. I fully intend on getting as much information in everyone's hands as I possibly can when it comes to Pentex, but we've also got the Alexander connection, and I'm going to do what I can to prioritize my runtime. So I highly doubt that I'm going to get lucky and the two are going to be connected, but it's the Camarilla. Who knows?
She said that all the emails are still the same with the same password, so you probably have to change those.
Oh, most definitely. I've actually got a laundry list for Sandra, ma'am, when she has time.
We have somebody else for laundry.
Yes.
Checklist.
Yes.
Never mind, Charlotte. You do what you need to do. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Just gonna wheel, just more further into the room, back to my spot.
Well, if there's a terminal nearby, I'm definitely going to at least start working on accessing the Pentex stuff.
All right. Let's pull up Harley's character sheet here. Ooh. Are you going to try kind of hacking into it?
Yes, I think I'm going to, because more than likely these are highly encrypted files that no random temp is going to be able to access.
That would be your specialty. So let's go with an int and technology with the specialty of hacking, which is a boatload of dice.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte, have you by any chance managed to check out the rest of this building since you've acquired it?
I haven't. I've been quite busy. Would you like to
Right.
accompany me?
Might as well. And that is what we will be doing, I suppose.
And I'm going to go with them.
Okay.
Fantastic. I'm just gonna look at Harley as we go out and she's like, This is not over. Even if I die, it is not over. You and I,
Understand.
later, we are going to talk.
Yes, I know I'm not getting out of this one. Yes, I know.
Nope. And I continue out.
Watching everybody go this way, I'm just gonna pat Florence on the head to come with me, and they'll just follow behind the group that's walking around the building because I'm not going to be doing computer things.
Okay. Will you be going like up in the building, down in the building, asking Sandra where you're going in the building?
I just intend specifically to just if there's a door, I'm gonna try to open it. Like I'm
Gonna wander around.
Yeah.
exactly, you know, like wandering, like when you go to new like places and stuff like that and you're allowed, you just kind of wander.
Let's see how many
around and
bathrooms
see
there
what
are.
happens. Or closets in your case.
On this floor, surprisingly, there's no washrooms. Or unsurprisingly, considering it's mostly vampires that are here.
That makes sense.
For this particular floor, it's pretty much completely clear. Like there's boardrooms and there's, different areas. You open the one door and it's like a block of like computer servers. It's basically just kind of seems like a regular run-of-the-mill office.
All right. So that's just on this floor is what you said, or?
That's just this floor, yeah.
Okay. Next floor.
Pick a number.
Are we going up or down?
Which way did
I
the wolf
suppose
go?
up. Let's
Up and
go
down.
up.
Let's go
Up
up.
is a good idea. Let's go
Mhm.
up.
Are you informing Harley of any of this going on?
Harley is
think so.
Harley's actually in a spot of trouble right now. So
Oh dear.
How did you be in trouble? You rolled like 9 dice.
okay. Well, yes. See
Is that why he said
Why?
that?
the problem with the law of averages, however, the more dice you roll, the more opportunities you get to roll
One.
tens.
Oh no.
All right, so I've got 99900 on my regular dice, and then I've got a 10 on my hunger as well. So
You messy critted on.
we got a messy crit with a shitload of successes.
So you hit 2 10s outside of the messy crit?
Yep.
See, I'm a bit different of a storyteller, as if you have more than a crit on your own, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Because
What would
yeah.
messy crit on hacking even look like? Would it be like that scene from NCIS where there's like 3 people on a keyboard?
yeah, everything's just like enhance.
So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 successes then.
8 successes. Yeah,
Mhm.
This is child's play. Like whoever set up these computers was like Bush League. Like you're just like, yeah, okay, I've seen this before. This person did this, and it's kind of like that scene from Hackers where it's like all the flashy things come up. And yeah, everybody else is looking at you just like type at about 120 words per minute. And you're easily able to access the files. And this is a lot of where the, $1,000 screwdrivers and such disappeared to.
I'm going to pull out a flash drive that I've got in my pocket and pop it into the terminal, and this entire file directory is now mine. It is going on the flash drive.
So you're going to wipe everything else?
Oh, no, it's staying on the server, but I'm making a copy.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
easy enough to do.
Yeah. And I think I've just added to Charlie's gainful employment for the next couple of days.
Oh, yeah. While you're doing that, everybody else is going up to the 14th floor.
While
So-
walking, I'll saddle up next to Cassandra and be like, you seem a lot more in the zone with all of this than I remember.
I mean, people grow up, things change.
Yeah, I was getting worried because I haven't seen you in a while, and Florence got kind of weird when you showed up, but then you were just, right there towards the van, and you didn't even blink with the big, big murder dog. So seems like you're doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing really good.
That's good. That's
Things
good.
are good. I'm good.
That's good. I'm really glad to hear that. Do I believe that at all?
Yeah.
Let's go with
Great.
like a wits and awareness.
I was about to say insight check, but then I realized that I'm pretty
Wrong
sure that
game.
that's like a
Yeah.
D&D. I realized that that's a D&D thing. I was like,
What's-
shit. Don't say
What's
that.
Charlie's
Be quiet.
passive perception?
Charlie's passive perception is 6 successes.
6 successes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does Charlie believe it? No, I mean I'm asking.
Yeah.
Cassandra.
Oh no.
Then no.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. If you're not feeling good at any point though, we can talk and stuff.
It's really nice of you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Point of note: are you using the elevator to reach the 14th floor?
I would have suggested the stairs, or at least I would have asked to take the I would have requested for me to at least take the stairs. They can take the elevator if they want, but I want to take the stairs.
I'll take the stairs when I'm complaining.
That's good. It's
I was
distracting
already
from our
following
conversation.
them.
My feet hurt.
You could have taken the elevator.
There might have been goo in there.
Or a whole werewolf.
I hope not.
You think they would keep the werewolf in the elevator?
Why not? Did you check it?
I'm never taking the elevator again.
Charlotte, you have to stop complaining so much.
So
The odds of a werewolf permanently surviving in that elevator that size are statistically low. Statistically low.
But
As
possible.
statistically low as special corn or lower?
Surviving for more than a couple of days without coming out of the elevator is lower. It's lower.
I would just keep the elevator shut for a few days and it'll be fine. Don't worry about it so much. But
Yeah, then
until then, I would prefer you not complain so much, Charlotte.
Okay.
Your
let's
feet
get
will be
a.
fine.
So I'm assuming Elena is taking point. Okay.
Seems that way.
What would the marching order be from that point on?
I feel like we're about to get into some shit.
What's everybody's passive perception?
Like roll initiative, bitches. Shit.
I guess I was towards the back with Cassandra and Florence
Yeah.
on my tail.
Yeah.
I imagine it was kind of 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 2 and 3.
All right. So as
Yeah.
you reach the 14th floor, you open the door. There's no actual window on the door, which seems kind of odd. So the door actually opens out towards you, and you open the door, and you see not entire darkness. There are lights that you can sort of see, but through those lights, you see a lot of spider webs.
Oh
And it's
no.
at that point
no.
we're going to take a break.
Nope. Elena is like backpedaling. Fuck no.
Should have stayed with the hacker.
Should have stayed with the hacker.
Oh my god.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Well, there's cobwebs and webs and regular webs and giant webs and webs everywhere.
Nope.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna look over their shoulders. I don't wanna.
I'm down for not
no.
going on the spider floor.
Charlotte, I strongly suggest that you just weld this door shut, and we're going next floor, please.
I'll have Sandra.
And I'm
put
just
some
gonna
tape
start
over it.
up the stairs. Up the stairs,
So-
I'm gonna
Just
go.
push
What
the
kind
door
of
closed.
business did they do here with the werewolves and the
Hey.
spiders?
I guess we're finding out.
So
And
you're
better have it
going
shut as we go.
Yeah,
you're
close
going
after,
up to the 15th floor then?
Hmm.
after closing the door to the 14th floor.
And maybe putting a chair in front of it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I don't
There's-
want to go
Very
back
good
to get a
idea.
chair.
Is there a lock maybe on the outside?
There is no lock.
If
or an
the-
And there are
Incinerate button?
surprisingly no chairs in the stairwell.
it's
Um,
it's improbable that the spiders can use the doorknob, but if they can, then we have a bigger problem.
They have no thumbs.
All right,
That's
so
why
we're
we're
just-
greater.
We're just going to close it quietly
Close
and
it.
nicely, and just close it, and we're good. Next floor.
Next floor.
Next floor.
Yeah, next floor.
All right. You get up to the 15th floor, and when you open it, there is a large kind of green sign. It's backlit, and it says Pentex on it.
Hey, look! Maybe it is the people that we were
I'm
just.
gonna re-close
just-
that door.
You don't want to go in there, Charlie,
I-
and find out if maybe it is your friend,
You,
the big bad wolf.
What-
you may recall that I very specifically called not it, which under the parameters of the rule set means that it is not me that's doing that.
Yep, we abide by those laws.
It's a
No, it's
YouTube
gonna end
tradition.
up being me. That's why we're going to have a talk later, he and I.
No, I thought he was gonna do it.
You think that? It's going to end up being me, though.
Oh,
What is this building?
apparently it's a death trap.
I'm going
If-
to cut Charlie. Perhaps we relocate Alexander Industries.
I mean, if they
instead,
just wanted to kill me, why didn't they just kill me? I wouldn't have fought.
because it's more fun to do different little games. I've heard of this. There are TV shows or movies about this where you put people through different trials and see how far they get before they die.
Oh, you think this is a TV show, so it might not actually be that bad.
No, they really die. It's just like a movie, and they really do die. But you put them through the trials to see how far they get, and then people take bets and see who wins the bets. And it's just it's entertainment.
It's not a TV show, it's a serial killer. Got it.
Which channel are you watching?
It's probably a high
I
number.
don't watch them. I'm just told of them. Harley tells me about them sometimes.
If they die on the TV, do they die in real life?
I think they die in real life first and then it's on TV.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Harley
go back
has better
downstairs and
cable than me.
I've turned around and I'm walking back down the stairs.
Let's go back to the safe floor.
No. Charlotte, you don't want to see what is on the next floor.
Okay,
How
so
many floors are there?
Yeah, how many
Uh,
floors are there?
This is a building that has 30 floors.
All right, we're gonna be walking for a while. We should find out at least what we are getting into in this particular building, so that we're not surprised later if something decides that they want to come downstairs.
It's true.
Elena,
30 floors is a lot of unknown.
you want to take bets on what's on the next floor?
Oh, we could do that. That would
I'm-
be fun. See, you're getting the hang of it already.
so I'm a bookie in my off time, and I can tell you that currently we are 2 for 2 in horrible endings. So if we continue on those odds, then it goes very, very out of our favor into death territory.
But maybe the next floor will be a fairy floor.
There's a thing called a gambler's fallacy, Miss Charlotte, where you think that you've lost a whole bunch of times, and that means that you're definitely going to win the next time. The problem is that you're not going to win the next time. It's a lie that we tell them so that they can keep giving us money. And we don't have money that we're giving. We have a lifespan that we're giving.
All right, so here's the thing, though, Charlie, is that we have to know what is on these floors. We need to
Spider's
know
death.
this.
Yeah, but everybody else on all the other 30 floors have access to the same stairwell and could come onto our floor. So
Exactly.
How many people have we seen? I mean, we've got one floor of spiders and one floor of signs, and not a desk to be found.
there's Sandra on the 13th floor.
Yes, there's Sandra. That's 1 in 30 floors.
It is still the possibility. We don't know if there are others that are upstairs. There could be. If you're uncomfortable though, Charlie, by all means, you can help Harley. I don't mind, but you're gonna have to go back downstairs past the Pentec, the spider room, all of that by yourself.
I'm not worried about that, but that means also leaving the three of you to go alone and die, and I don't like that part. So.
Oh, you're sweet.
Sure.
I'll just
15th
begrudgingly walk back up the stairs.
Progression.
Going to the 16th floor then?
I'm such a bad influence.
Damn you, touchstones. All right, keep going.
Charlotte, your feet are really not liking this.
I said I would stop complaining.
Just take your shoes off. It'll be fine.
And you open the door to the 16th floor, which I did not anticipate you going this far in the building.
And it's the fairy floor.
And it's the fairy. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
A fey floor would not be good.
No.
Yeah.
Tiger.
I've dealt with changelings in the world of darkness. The fey floor would not be good.
No.
This is where all the
I fucked up with
Fomori
a
live.
fae.
If we open the Fey floor, I'm going back down to the Pentix floor.
Seems legit.
You open the
Yeah,
door
I-
and it just seems like a regular office building floor.
See,
Oh, well,
Charlie,
here
what
we
did I
go.
tell you? It is okay.
We
And I
win.
will proceed through.
You
I'm not
see
smart.
like there's a bunch of plaques on the wall, like, with arrows pointing in which direction, like 1601, 1600, whatever. And it basically just looks like a bunch of like medical companies and like, just simple like courier companies, like offices and stuff like that. It doesn't seem like there's anything nefarious going on in them.
See? All is well. Charlie, your odds were off a bit.
That's 1 in 30 something floors.
I'm just saying, we found the one.
You found one. Now there's.
Come on, smile a
six
little bit. It's
more
all
to go.
good.
No.
Well, now that we know that this entire place isn't haunted, you want to go to the roof?
Yes, let's go to
Yes.
the roof. We can see what the other doors say as we're going.
What?
We don't necessarily have to open them, but we can kind of just see.
Are you going to the roof?
This will throw off-
Apparently.
This will throw off their betting odds.
I'm texting Harley. We're on the roof? ? As we go up.
Elena's trying to kill me again.
I do text back Kay, giving Sandra my laundry list. I hit the jackpot. Let's touch base when you're done playing Adventurer.
Harley will immediately get a text from Charlotte that says, "How's the surfing?" And then it's going to have a surfer emoji.
This is why we shouldn't give Venture phones.
I text Charlotte back. Hit the motherload, boss. Thumbs up.
That's why we pay him. Let's go to the roof and then actually do work.
I'm going to tell them to send Harley a message that if Harley is going to join us, please tell him to avoid the 14th and 15th floor, please. It would not be good.
I'll respond to Harley's text about jackpot and with a thumbs up, and then just put a 14th floor spider emoji, 15th floor wolf emoji.
I text back 10-4. If they're going to the roof, I've kind of hit a dead end. I'm not going to try tackling all this data by myself. That's why Charlie gets paid what Charlie gets paid. And I'm going to scribble a list of hardware that I'm going to want set up at a workstation, certain specifications for my workspace. I'm going to give it to Sandra. And then I'm going to go to the elevator and take it. If it'll take me to the roof, that's where we're going to go. Otherwise, I'll go to the top floor and then find a way up onto the roof.
Okay.
He's gonna eat their way before us.
As the adventuring party passes the 29th floor, Charlotte's feet are really sore. And the door, like, it's basically you go up one flight, next flight, you actually see the door to whatever floor you're on, and then, spare flight, and then you go up the door. As you go up to the 29th floor, where that should be, there's actually kind of not, it's a little bit off. Like, it doesn't look like a straight, like, red light, but it looks like doesn't look like the standard LED lights are coming out from underneath the door.
No.
Airy floor.
No.
Come on.
It's
No.
glowing.
It's pretty.
How
I'm just gonna
are
open
the
it.
two of you still alive?
Well, I have Harley. I don't know about Charlotte.
Elena, I'm no longer afraid of you. I am now just in awe of your lifespan. We've crossed over the hurdle.
I don't
Oh,
really
look
have
at that! I did it very well. Look, I was hoping that at some point I could manage to do something to convince you to not be so afraid of me anymore, because now we can actually be friends.
No, now I'm just going to be worried that you're going to kill yourself at any given point in time. But we'll
like a good friend.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
I'm gonna open the door.
Glad you said that.
Can only go well.
Yeah, you open the door, and it is nightmarish.
Oh.
You see what could possibly be the inside of a creature. You're not sure, but the walls and the roof, ceiling, everything, it basically just looks like meat.
Oh, I love meat rooms.
Do you want to explore it first?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Oh, I took off my shoes, and I don't want to walk on the meat floor barefoot. So.
Perhaps we should close the door now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm just gonna close the door.
Just close the door.
29th floor meat room.
We're learning so much.
You have a bad building. Bad building.
You do really do. I would strongly suggest that we relocate.
Perhaps
I
a
think
work
it's got
from
good
home
bones.
situation.
What was that, Charlie?
Perhaps a work from home situation.
I mean, but then you would never be able to see my pretty face.
Yeah, where's your sense of community?
Back in the spider floor.
Behind my sense of survival.
Uh,
Bones. Meat. Got it. Funny.
I try to be a funny boss.
Funny.
All right, Charlie. In all honesty, let's talk this out for a moment. See, we have seen different floors. We have found that there are a few that are not grand, but we are still here
That's because we haven't gone into the scary floors.
because we're smart enough not to go into these scary floors. We just see what they are, and then we close the door and don't worry about it again. Now we can put signs and weld them shut so that nobody ever goes back into them again.
That's a good benchmark.
See?
Until we open the door to the reaches out and kills you floor.
Oh, maybe the roof is just heaven.
Yeah, because things have only been getting better as we've gone up.
I think that the roof
How is that better? I'm just pointing at the door to the meat room. How is that better?
All right, look,
It's
in
not.
all fairness, roofs are roofs. They go to the outside world, and so long as it is not daylight, I think we're going to be okay.
I'm just
Well, I
gonna
mean,
look at the meat
offices
door
don't
again.
usually go to meat.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the meat door again and just go, I don't trust the roof to lead to the roof at this point. For all I know, it leads to the basement.
All right, then you wait right here, and I'm going to just go open the roof door and see if it leads to the basement or to the I'm going to reach out and grab you and kill you room. How does that sound? But I would not stand in the exact line of sight because I'm going to open and kind of move to this side. So
For Charlie, can I get a wits and awareness?
Yep. 3 successes.
As you pointed over to the meat floor room, you kind of glance over at it, and the door kind of looks like it's going.
Oh, it's breathing. Great.
Oh no.
Yeah, just continue to point and go.
All right, you just wait right here. I'll be right back.
So the people who live in this building are Sandra and the meat room.
Right.
Did we
Just
maybe
gonna-
investigate Sandra a little more?
That's
Maybe.
not a bad idea.
Have you done a background check on her?
She did seem very fine with that werewolf.
I'm gonna take a couple steps like down the steps, like just away from the meat door, further away from the roof door and the meat door.
I'm gonna open the roof door.
Are you using any sort of potence to open the roof door?
No.
You cannot open the roof door.
Really wants you to crush something.
The roof
I
door
will
is
use-
locked.
Potence then to open the roof door.
Yeah, I kind of figured you'd say that. That'd be
And we get sucked out into outer space.
Uh-huh.
And that's when the boulder started rolling down the stairs.
I'm
No,
not I step out of the
Worst
way.
building.
Strength and
All right, got it.
let's see, athletics maybe.
Okay. All right. That is 2 and a crit.
2 and a crit. All right. The door is not budging, even with potence behind it.
Now I'm even more persistent about this. Charlotte, do you have a key?
Do I have a key?
Do you?
Storyteller note: you do not have a key.
I don't have a key, but what I do have
You have
is
a Sandra.
I have a helicopter.
And that works as well. We should do that. Let's do that. Downstairs now.
It's not here.
Why was it not to be here?
I
This
didn't
is your
take my helicopter to work.
You know what I thought just now? I think that perhaps maybe there are really shitty rooms here. So perhaps if we just gut the whole thing out and then make a helicopter pad and then like the whole Batman cave that I read about where it just opens the roof and then we can fly out and do the whole Batman X-Men thing. I've seen these things in comic books.
I'm gonna look
I
at
like
these
it
two.
better than the spiders.
I'm gonna look at Elena and Charlotte, and then I'm gonna look at Cassandra, and I'm just gonna turn and walk down the stairs with my dog behind me, just very silently walking down the stairs.
He might have the best idea right now.
Yeah, we're all going back downstairs.
Yes.
As another storyteller note, I just want to find out who exposed the Lasombra to Batman
It was Harley. It
and find them,
was Harley.
deal with them
It's
harshly.
all Harley's fault. Anything Elena knows pop culture wise is going to be Harley's fault.
Where
Yeah.
were the other drugs going? Yeah.
Into the meat room. I'm
Yeah.
going back down to the 13th floor.
Oh my god.
Is everyone else proceeding down to the 13th floor?
Yes,
Yes.
we're going back down.
Okay. As you end your exodus through the various different floors, I want to say, of your newly acquired building, and Harley would also notice this. The elevator door rings, and then someone steps out with a amazingly well-tailored suit. They have a powdered wig on, and they look. It's amazingly stylish for about 150 years ago.
This is back on our floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they walk up and they go to Sandra, because Sandra is the first kind of point of entry. And they go, "Excuse me, where would I find Cassandra?"
Is that your dad?
I'm going.
Do I know? Do I recognize this person at all?
You do not.
Okay.
I
don't know.
Cassandra.
If
I'm gonna lean over to Cassandra and be like, Cassandra, please
Uh-huh.
tell me that that's not that you know, times might be hard sometimes, but I would really hope that that is not your boyfriend, because I understand the terms owe the money, but that's a bit of
Do you think that's my sugar daddy?
I'm hoping that this is not.
Not as far as I know.
Good
Hi,
deal.
I'm Cassandra.
Not yet.
Oh, excellent. And he completely ignores Sandra, and he goes over to Cassandra, and he does the bow, but he is presenting you a letter in his hand, and he does the left leg kind of kicks out so he can get down extra far. "I have a message for you from a Erasmus, I believe."
Oh, thank you.
And he's, as soon as you take it, he's kind of like, it, you know,
Do I tip you or?
"Oh, that would be very appreciated. Thank you."
no, you're not going to tip him. Go.
Oh,
Sorry,
we don't have any shillings.
No. I have a great tip. Stay away from the what floor is that? The 29th floor?
All of them.
30th floor?
29th floor.
Yeah.
Don't go to any
This-
floor but this floor.
Uh,
Or
Best
leaving.
tip I can give you.
thanks.
Yes.
Oh, come on, Charlotte, give him like a 10 or something.
We're
I'm
being
sure you got
cheap.
something in your purse.
All right, here's 100.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's very appreciated. Thank you. And he rushes off.
I don't care
open
anything
my
less than
letter.
100.
The
checks
letter is kind of similar to the ones that you had gotten from Erasmus in the past. This one is kind of a "have not seen you in a while. I would very much like your to be within your presence, etc., lovey-dovey." There's scented oils on it.
I do miss Raz. It's been a while. He hasn't been at the bar at all. Cassandra's just kind of talking to herself as she reads it.
Is boyfriend?
That term's a little outdated.
I'm
Okay.
a little
Steady.
outdated, if I'm to be honest with you.
How did they know that you were here?
Oh,
That
even
was my
better
follow-up question.
Because you didn't know that you were here until you got here.
Well,
As the
clearly
door
they're
is
watching
closing,
the show.
As the door is closing, all you hear is, "I went to the bar thing first. They told me to come here." And then it closes.
That was worth 100.
Sure. Cassandra, I hope I did not offend you a moment ago when I was asking about the, what did you call it, the sugar daddy thing? That was not
No.
an offense at all.
No,
I was
I'm
just
not
simply
offended.
stating that,
I get it.
Us
Older man, younger woman.
more-
I've seen it.
No. Not older men so much. It's just,
One
out
in a
of the
powdered wig?
Century older men is a little bit like,
Like age is just a number till it's 3 digits.
might be Yeah, a little bit maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, just not that I think that you just never mind. Ignore me. It's like the end in the call thing that I've seen before in the.
I think they call that slut shaming.
How much television has Harley shown you?
I don't watch television. It's just a tabloid, I think is what it's called.
Ah, good literature.
Oh, those are much worse than TV.
I can't really watch TV so much.
Is there anything of
Everything-
any like import
kind of
in this
fits.
letter?
No, it's just the standard, haven't seen you in a while, miss your presence, etc. Dabs of what you think could be tears or something, but you definitely know that Raz doesn't have tears, so
I'm gonna gently fold it up and put it back in its envelope and put it in my purse very carefully and tenderly.
All good?
All good.
Okay.
No werewolves, no spiders, no meat.
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 Oh,
The twe-
there's a meat room.
The 29th floor is alive.
Like literally alive.
Also, we're locked in
Better.
here and probably on a TV show where we're going to die.
Better news, Harley, is that Charlie is no longer afraid of me.
I don't know how she's
Making-
still alive.
We're making progress.
She opened all of the doors.
I did.
Every one. If there was a door, she touched it and she opened it.
Except the last one.
She tried many times.
So, all right, I'm Elena. You're gonna have to give me like the cliff notes later, especially about the meat room.
You don't want them.
Absolutely. We'll exchange information.
You don't want them.
Okay.
You had better luck. What did you have? It
Yeah, how
probably
is your
wasn't
web
scary.
surf?
I reach into my pocket and I pull out the flash drive and I hand it over to Charlie. You and I need to spend some time going over this. There's a lot of data here, and storyteller, do I have a general gist of what the information in there was?
You have a general gist of it. It's basically there's like a lot of financial transactions that are not making any sense even to you, but you know that Charlie, when Charlie is able to
Mhm.
kind of drill down the information, he'd probably be able to find where and when things are going off rails.
Okay. More funny numbers. Lots and lots of funny numbers. And I just like all of the Pentech stuff was in, without getting too technical, it was buried pretty deep and it was encrypted out the ass. But sorry about that. I've got the whole directory there on that drive. So figure you go through the numbers. I might be able to take a look at any research data that might be in there, any correspondence that might be in there. And between the two of us, we might be able to get this sussed out.
Did you have any trouble hacking into the mainframe?
No, when you're inside the mainframe to begin with, it's relatively easy. You just got to know where to look and know what to do.
Good.
Trust me, it was a cakewalk. Your internal security here sucks, and I'm going to fix that.
I'm sure all of the security is the spider webs upstairs.
I'm processing everything that Harley just told me with everything I saw earlier from like reading through the stuff and the Pentex thing and the shit security and just Sandra?
Oh, yes. She stands up. Like,
Is this a shell company?
I don't believe so.
What was actually done here?
Oh, we own a bunch of other companies.
Yes, and what do they do?
Various things. We're in pharmaceuticals. We're in military. We even have contracts with mining companies.
And we own them.
Yeah, or
And-
majority stock in them. Yes.
Right. And who owns us?
Charlotte owns us.
Who actually owns us? Like, who actually funds and processes the money for all of these business ventures?
Yeah, it's all been transferred over to Charlotte.
And before Charlotte, it was entirely
Alexander Devonshire.
100% no board of directors, parent company, majority shareholder, using this company to launder money.
No, so far as I know, he was independently wealthy.
Everything feels really wrong here.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great.
Everything feels
Um,
really wrong here.
Sandra, the military companies that you were talking about, was one of their experiments spiders?
Spiders? No.
What about meat rooms?
You mean like we own a meat processing plant?
No, like a room made of meat.
Is the company only this floor?
So far as I know, we own the building.
What is on the other floors?
We actually rent out a bunch of the other floors to
who?
different companies.
To who?
To Pentex and
There's hundreds of companies.
like Pentex.
Yes,
She leans over.
Pentex is one of them. Yes.
She leans over to Charlie and Harley, and she's just like, "We should probably find out what those other companies are." I don't. I do think that would be a much needed piece of information.
If you have a directory, that'd be really great. I'll add it to the things that I'm going over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could probably get that to you. For Harley, you definitely came across like that particular information with the amount of successes that you scored. Like it was easy enough to do. Like that could actually be part of your deep dive that you pulled.
Okay. Yeah, I will leave that up to your discretion. And as far as what all I found, and you can just fill us all in later. I know that was, a buku score. So that's to his discretion.
Sandra, are you a robot?
No. Actually, I was gonna talk to you about that. I don't know who is going to take care of my particular needs.
Are you a ghoul?
It makes more sense than the robot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Charlotte, you inherited the ghoul. How pleasant.
It's been a while since I've, had the vampiric Jamba Juice, if you know what I mean.
That's going to be all you, Charlotte. You should
Poor Charlie has just been hoisted on his own petard.
You don't want me doing that. You don't want me doing that. That just means that she'll do all the stuff I want to do and none of the stuff you want to do.
Charlotte, you want her to do all the things that you want her to do, so why don't you just do it?
Everybody
already?
always does what I want them to do. I have money.
But not if you don't Google her. She could just walk away and then you won't have a Sandra anymore.
It's gonna make a mess.
And Sandra's kind of looking like she's like really kind of jonesing, and she's like, well, everybody else did touch their nose.
I'll do it, but just do it quietly and not messily.
Good.
Yeah, unless you want me
Team
to
player.
cut you.
Yeah, just don't mess up my clothes.
Look at you being a team player, Charlotte. I'm so proud of you. You're doing fantastic.
lead by
And I
example.
give them a little bit of privacy.
I'll just walk away with Cassandra, just away from this.
I'm watching.
There's always that one just person who
One
wants
in a
to watch.
group.
She likes
Yeah,
to watch.
There's always that one.
I like to watch. Yeah.
All right. Are you gonna like bite your wrist, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. She could gnaw on your wrist for a while, but it will take a while to get through the skin. And then, yeah, she drinks, holds your wrist close to her mouth, like, oh, thank God. And she's like dribbling a bit, like it's going on your shoes a little bit, like, oh, thank you. Oh, this is great. Oh.
Shoes.
Just gonna, I'll glance back and just look at Cassandra. This is why I stick with Florence.
It's
And
fair.
Charlotte will go up one hunger.
Florence doesn't ask for much.
Why I don't do that?
I will note
At
that.
Florence.
Never mind. I won't ask. It's fine.
And Charlotte hears the voice of her sire in the back of her head. What does Charlotte's sire sound like?
Like a rich white guy.
That I can do. Charlotte, you need to eat
Yes.
something.
I know.
There's this thing right in front of you. Take care of that.
No, I'm not going to do that. I can control myself.
Charlotte,
You're not even my real dad.
and on that note, this voice kind of stops. Because in the games I run, if you sass the beast, it generally works a little bit better.
All right, Charlotte. Now what are we going to do? What is the word? What is our plan?
I'm at your discretion. I feel like we need to look into exactly who is sending people at us. That would be a good start.
I think that would be good. Because I can look through all these numbers, but I can probably take a guess that they're going to be, this company spent a lot of money, it didn't make a lot of sense, and they cooked the books a lot. But figuring out the why and why somebody wanted to kill you when you were the person in charge instead of whoever was giving a lot of money out to people, that's probably going to be better, because otherwise it's going to happen again and again and again and again.
So we are in agreement now that who it was that broke into here, shooting the guns and such. They were trying to kill Charlotte, and it was not me that they were actually after. They weren't trying to, vengeful. Oh, I lost my job situation. It was all Charlotte, right?
It could be you. Could be a nice little
No,
bonus.
no. Shh, no. We're in agreement. It's Charlotte that they're after, right?
I mean, Charlotte gave all of us the jobs, so process chain of
Awfully
events.
convenient that the hit
See?
happened the night that you took up residence here, ma'am.
See?
Just-
It's all your
Okay.
fault.
Within a couple of hours, actually.
I do have I've been picking up bits and pieces of your foray upstairs, and the conversation with Sandra. So Pentex is renting out a floor here in the building.
Number 15.
Between the spider room and the normal room and the meat room. Yes.
8 rooms at a
Okay.
time.
If you get to the meat room, you've gone too far.
I think I'm gonna have to probably take a look at the Pentex floor sooner or later.
Duke
What-
it out with that werewolf.
No, that is
I'll go
not.
with you.
Stop doing that.
Well,
What did I do?
Stop doing the running into the death thing.
Well, see, now
Stop that.
Charlie.
see we're kind of a bad influence on each other, I guess.
It happens.
But
It's a toxic relationship.
What, you tabloids and she gives you death wishes?
it doesn't
And
work.
comic books.
Which one of you gives the other one comic books?
I give
He
her.
gives me
Yeah,
comic books.
That makes sense.
That
Now-
explains the Batman.
That makes sense.
there was a
Get it now.
there's a Batman reference, and I wasn't there. Is that how that worked?
It'll probably keep happening.
Great.
It's a
So
long story.
Is the Batman the one with the cape?
yes.
That doesn't narrow it down, but yes.
Now the Pentex floor, did it look like it was in use, or was it abandoned?
We didn't go in,
Didn't spend that much time at any of the scary rooms.
especially not the meat floor.
Essentially, what has happened is we went to each room and we opened the door. We saw what was inside of the door, and then we promptly closed the door. Specifically, the spider room. We suggest that we probably should weld that one shut with big signs.
Or we could evict the spiders.
You take care of that.
Sandra will take care of that. You have to do what I say. You're my fool. I don't even have to pay you.
So, but no, there's
I mean, you could get exterminators
yeah.
I need big exterminators.
with
I-
flamethrowers.
I would like to propose that
That's a bad
we,
idea. Don't do that. Harley told me about that when the person with the fire and the house catches on fire. We don't want to catch this location on fire, do we?
I would like to
Um,
propose that we don't touch any of the other floors unless we have to because of the figuring out why there were guns coming at
Mhm.
us. For example, if they came from one of the other floors, that's a floor we want to go to. If they didn't, I don't want to go die there.
Oh, that would be so
Um,
convenient if they worked like upstairs and then they could have just swung down on their ropes and broke the window.
Okay, so just one quick thing to say about that is we can't really find out if that was the case unless we actually go to the rooms and
On that
check.
on that note, storyteller, I don't know how efficient Sandra is with cleaning. Are the ropes still hanging from the window?
Thinking the same thing.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I'm like while
Perfect.
Elena is explaining how we have to go like to the floors to figure it out. I'm walking over, holding onto the rope and just leaning out the window and seeing like how far up does it go.
I'll have
it-
him by the hand.
From what you can tell, because you're really good at math and figuring these sorts of things out.
And I'll kick on heightened senses if you want for added bonus.
Okay, yeah. Give me a wits and awareness. Let's go with that. Are you going to lean out and kind of
yes,
put
because
weight on the rope?
yes,
Okay.
because
I will try
Cassandra said
to
she was
hold
holding on
him.
to me. Well,
Yeah,
and
I've got
I'll
him
try
by
to
the other
help hold.
hand.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'll help hold.
Okay.
Good, the
belt,
person with
it's fine.
potence is helping. Good.
cool. And with heightened senses, that's going to be 6 successes.
6 successes?
Yeah.
It's definitely the 29th floor.
The
Oh.
ropes are coming from the 29th floor.
The meat
Oh,
room.
no.
The meat room.
The meat room.
The meat room, she calls.
I will lean back in and I will just let the rope swing out and I'll go. It's a mystery.
Really, Charlie? What floor?
It's the meat room. It's the meat room.
Oh, so are we climbing or are we taking the elevator?
No,
We're
hold
not
on.
climbing.
Just a sec, Sandra. Who's the tenant leasing out the 29th floor right now?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'm not sure.
You should go check now.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Please.
And then
Quickly
she's
now.
gonna go check.
Look,
And I'm just
go ahead.
I'm just doing mental math of like how likely is this to be a Clive Barker situation?
Jesus wept.
Lena's gonna walk over to Charlie and kind of walk her fingers along his shoulder and be like, "Don't worry about it. It's not the spiders, and it's not the wolf. How much bad could happen? It's just a room.
to be honest, we have a great track record against meat.
Based threats.
Except the werewolf.
Yeah, but
It
he's
doesn't
kind of
count.
sinewy and dripping with goo. And truth be told, he ran away when he saw me.
So he was dripping with goo.
And Sandra comes back fairly quickly, and she's like, "Yeah, that's Panacea Pharmaceuticals."
Okay. Have I would like to roll to see if I know anything about that company, or at least have heard of them.
Intelligence and investigation.
Okay.
I'll want to go to the meat room.
That's what you
Charlie,
said.
perhaps you should just stay here and continue to run the numbers, and you will be safe. I told you, I'll keep you safe. Don't worry.
But
Have I let you
then-
down yet?
But then you guys will go up to the meat room, and then what if you don't come back from the meat room? And then that means that there's only me, and the odds of me figuring all this out on my own are very low. And
3 successes.
3 successes.
Yes.
You know that is a subsidiary of Pentex.
Guys, we've fuck. We are in a world of hurt. Pentex owns Panacea Pharmaceuticals.
So why would they try and kill me before
Um,
asking me for $300 million?
so a Pentex-owned pharmaceutical company let in a hit squad from the people that was
Mhm.
working for the people that used to work here to put out a hit on Charlotte.
When you mention people who used to work here, Sandra actually pipes up. She's like, "Oh, do you know who the people were that attacked?"
They said they were employed by
Devonshire.
Do you know their names?
Jackson. I remember that one.
Oh, Jackson. He used to be the head of security.
Right. He's not happy I took his job.
Probably
Wait a
not.
minute.
So maybe they just knew that was the easiest way to get in, and a room that we would never be in.
Yeah, the security takes care of the entire building.
I would always take the meat room.
I've got dude's phone. Or at least one of the guy's phones.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have the other guy's phone.
Oh, look at that. We have
Ooh.
2 points. What are you going to do about
Please,
it?
please.
They can call
Hands
each
it
other.
over.
Could I attempt to get into one real quick
Intelligence and technology.
with hacking?
With hacking. That's a lot of dice.
Yes, it is.
So while he's
And-
doing that,
we have a lot of people that are all tied together in you dying, Charlotte.
Yeah, I noticed that. That hasn't really been a problem before.
It's a big problem now. I don't know if the pharmaceutical company was in on it or if the security
Wait.
guy just went in there, but it's either bad or it's worse.
Now, I completely understand if you guys don't want to be on board this boat. It seems dangerous, but I will have you know I won't pay you for today.
Or
Beg your
46.
pardon? I'll be damned if you're not paying me for today.
Well, then I guess you're going to have to stick around.
You're an asshole.
This is why people sign employment contracts.
Yep, you didn't sign any
Or s-
contract. I just made you
I
name
was
tags.
supposed to be taking care of all of that for me.
4 successes
Mhm.
for Harley.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're easily able to get into the phones.
So much we're talking about, Harley. So much.
Well, I'll take care of this.
Uh-huh.
I promise
Right.
I will take care
Mhm.
of this.
You damn right you were going to take care of this.
Yes, I will.
I want what they have.
Still a better love story than Twilight.
No.
Oh Lord. Anyways,
What are you looking for in their phones?
I'm going through most recently called numbers. I'm looking for social media that the dumbasses would have left on the phone that they brought with them onto a hit.
There's no social media on the phones.
Okay.
They basically to you, yeah, they look like burner phones.
Okay.
They're the last couple of calls are basically to each other, and then they're also from a unknown number.
So I can't redial the unknown number.
You cannot, not with these ones.
Okay. All right, so the phone's kind of a dead end, but I'll see if I can get the SIM cards later when I have the time and do shit.
Are we gonna have to go back to the place that you were with the van?
That's probably our next jump. Yes, unfortunately. Well, I guess it would be better than the meat room.
It would be better. than
Most
the
things
room.
are.
Most
You take a
things are.
vote.
No.
Anybody who wants to go to the meat room?
No.
Can I vote for each?
No.
I kind of want to see this. This is kind of
To
I'm
the meat room
intrigued.
then. We'll go
That's-
to the meat room first. We're already here.
No.
You can climb the rope.
No. All in favor of doing anything but that first. Raise your hand.
I'm voting for both.
And I will tell Florence. I'll tell Florence. Pop.
Florence-
Most
Unfair.
important vote.
Florence is the
Florence
most
actually-
important vote.
Stands on her hind legs with both feet
All
in
right,
the
all
air.
right. So look, let's just think about this for a minute. Charlie, you're very good with numbers, and I very much so appreciate you and your ability to do that. But currently, we are already here. At the least we can do is just check it out. You don't have to go in, you can wait in the hallway. So that way, if we do die, you'll know, and you can just go home.
Scream really loud.
It's a bad plan. It's a bad plan. It's a bad plan. It's a bad plan. It's a bad plan.
No, storyteller question. What time of night is it?
That was my next question.
It's actually getting somewhat close to the time that you would have to find a place to sleep for the day.
Mm,
It's a bad plan. It's a bad plan. It's a bad plan.
let's postpone. The sun is going to be up soon, and I don't want to be too far from home when that happens, especially if we get into trouble in a bad place, either the meat room or that abandoned building.
Fair enough.
We can maybe take some time, each of us think about this rationally, and we can maybe look at it fresh tomorrow when we've got a better understanding. Charlie, give me that USB key real quick. And I'm going to make a copy of it and hand him back the original that I gave him.
All right.
So that way we both have a record just in case, is we're not going to be able to do anything during the day. And the last thing that I would want to see have happen is if whoever's orchestrating this realizes that their plan didn't work and they go scorched earth and there's nothing to find tomorrow.
On that note, we should probably be careful going back home, just in case.
Which brings up another storyteller question, which would be, where is everybody going to go to sleep for the day?
I'm going back to my apartment.
Going back to Harley's, we have some things to discuss.
Yes, we do.
Ooh.
I'll go home.
And I'll be going to my brand new mausoleum, I guess.
I'll look at everybody. Go, yeah, I'm gonna go home. You have my number. You still have to Cassandra. Do you still have my number?
Is it the same number?
Same number.
Then yes.
Okay.
Oh, we should make a group chat.
Okay.
That's not a
Send
bad
you all
idea.
emojis.
I don't really have a phone.
Yeah.
much.
I'll cover for her.
I'll buy you 5.
She can't.
Oh,
I might be able to use one of those little flippy, the little the beeper thingies.
yeah, but it's gonna turn the group chat green, and I really hate when that happens.
Then never mind. I can't really do anything for you on that. What
You want a walkie-talkie?
I don't.
You can call me all the time.
No, but I could communicate with Harley a little bit better if I had a walkie-talkie.
You can find the guy with the wig and the letters,
I don't appreciate that so much.
but then he can do the fancy presentation thing.
But I don't appreciate. I don't want to do that.
I'm not a Toreador, and even I thought that was gauche for him to show up like that.
It
I
was.
just.
It
I
was
mean, I
maybe a
might-
little much.
I might be able to use the flippy phone thingies, and that might work a little bit. I just
That could work.
maybe.
That could work. We'll do a group chat thing, and we'll
Sandra,
get,
buy her a razor.
we'll get back in
What
touch.
is that?
It's a
Never mind.
it's
It's
a
fine.
flip
You
phone.
can explain it to me later. We'll
And-
talk about it later.
And you, and I'm going to point at Charlotte, you probably should have a talk with the person that gave you this company about the whole almost dying multiple times thing.
You don't think he knows?
I mean, bring it to his attention and see what he says.
Might help to see if he does know and if he's really bad at lying.
Yeah, it might be worth looking into. I was hoping to bury my head in some work and maybe start turning his company around, but I should probably take care of my life.
Yeah.
Can you try not to die before we see each other again? That would be helpful.
And so far, I've only died once.
I'm more so meaning the second time, the one that is a little bit more permanent.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
Good. You still owe me money.
I will not die until I've paid you.
Good. We're agreed then.
And on the bill note, well, we're gonna cap off this particular episode as everyone goes back to their own havens. That was super fun.
Yes, it was. This was
Whatever could go wrong.
Poor Charlie.
meat room.
Meat room. Why?
Meat room.
Correction, meat floor.
True.
Oh, poor Charlie. Hey, he doesn't hate. He's not afraid of Elena anymore. We are making progress here.
We're gonna
There's-
Isn't he
there's
though?
a-
Isn't he though?
There's a Jason Carl in the chat right now.
And who's asking the exact same question I am, and probably also sarcastically. What could possibly go wrong?
Hey,
could possibly go
Jason,
wrong?
how
Hi,
goes
Jason.
it? So glad you could make it.
Yay, Jason Carl.
Yay.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a quick roundtable, letting everybody know what their stuff is, where they can find them, and let's start with Brennan, which I think I have a command for that.
I do it real quick. I'm Brendan. You can find me at Great Black Otaku on Twitter and on all those links. Bam.
Yeah, I just threw the links in the chat. All right,
That's so easy.
yeah, I know, right? Let's slide it on over to Zach.
Hey, I'm Zachary Vaudo. You can find me Tuesdays on ATL by night. We're in our off season, but next week, this upcoming Tuesday is our postseason interview, and I will be on that with one of my co-stars. Apart from that, you can find me here and in Twitter and Instagram and everything else that Steve put in the chat.
I think I'm probably going to deal with my standard buddy cop question for that one. Let's slide it over to Sam.
Hi, I am Samantha Mclarty. You can find me at Just S Mclarty. Whatever the links are. Yeah, there we go. Links in the chat there.
I thought it was just
Um,
Sam, but apparently it's for Samantha. So
Yeah, I see that. But yeah. So you can find me at those links. And will be soon doing some things with Martlet Games, which is gonna be a fun thing. I'll add that link later. But other than that, you can find me here at this lovely coterie of all kinds of fun things.
and bickering. And speaking of bickering, let's go
Potentially
over to
killing
Patrick.
Harley.
Hashtag meat room. All right. So, hi, I'm Patrick Gill, the creative director over at Martlet Games. Links in the chat. We're finishing recording a little mini chronicle right now. Sam came along with very little persuading involved, and we've brought her into the fold. We've got big, huge, exciting, fun things that we will be rolling out. Looking forward to that V5 companion. We've got plans for that. But anyways, that'll be later.
I am looking forward to these plans.
But right now on our Twitch, we mostly just kind of do some shoot the breeze kind of stuff. And there's a doggo. We're one of our people, she's playing through Bloodlines 1, doing commentary, or I'm playing the game, she's doing the commentary for it, and fun times.
And let's slide it over to Lex, who I think has a doggo there.
Yes, no, he's left. I'm Lex, and that was Beckett. He doesn't have the social media, but you can find me online at Redhead Vixen and all of the other links that are getting posted right now.
And there they are. And I am Storyteller Steve. If you haven't figured out how to get here by now, I can't help you. But if you want more vampire adventures, come over to Vancouver by Night, which is on the Twitch. Tomorrow at the same time, I'm going to see if I can put it in the chat. Well, there we go. All right. I don't even have to put it in the chat. So check us out tomorrow. We are going to be on our regular time. We are winding down our season, which should have some special guests near the end. And we get to find out how Erasmus, which is Cassandra's boyfriend or something, I don't know. There's a connection there. Deals
An outdated
with
term.
Yeah, deals with their coterie,
FWB.
being the Barons of Richmond, which is going on separately from this one, but they may interact and collide at some point in time, maybe.
Collide.
I'd help them.
So thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you everybody who is part of this coterie, because you guys are all awesome. I regularly have to hit mute so I can laugh my ass off. And part of the reason why I love these guys is because they keep putting hashtag meat room in the chat.
It'll be on a shirt by the end of the year.
Yeah. On that note, we're probably gonna raid some other vampire people, see if there's anybody playing the vampires or the World of Darkness stuff. Let's see. And thank you everybody for tuning in. There's two. Right. So we will head over to them. Hang on, everybody. We're gonna raid. So thank you for attending, and be safe and protect the Masquerade.